Country where a war and a climate emergency have rendered millions vulnerable, driving continued high and urgent needs for humanitarian support, and just one of several countries from Afghanistan to Syria to Yemen, among others, where billions are required to meet dire humanitarian needs on the ground.
We, along with our partners and the government, launched an appeal for nearly $4 billion to reach more than 20 million people in Ethiopia this year with critical assistance, including food, nutrition support, health services, and other vital aid. Our humanitarian colleagues tell us that the southern and eastern regions of Ethiopia continue to suffer the impact of the devastating drought we've been talking about here quite a bit, which some of these areas continue to face cholera outbreaks with 1,100 cases recorded to date. In recent weeks, tens of thousands of people have fled violence in Somaliland to the Somali region.
The UN says its 2023 prioritized humanitarian response is structured around three strategic objectives. First, to address immediate life-saving needs, provide safe and inclusive access to essential services, and contribute to support and build linkages towards recovery and resilience. Key among these is an emphasis on gender, protection, accountability to affected people, and prevention from sexual abuse and exploitation. Among those targeted include 4.6 million internally displaced persons.
In northern Ethiopia, humanitarian access continues to improve following the agreement on cessation of hostilities. While a few areas remain hard to reach, we, along with NGOs and government and the NGO partners and the government, have brought in more than 4,400 trucks of loads of aid supplies into the Tigray since mid-November, carrying nearly 180,000 tons of food and other aid supplies. But this assistance needs to be sustained. More than 8.5 million people are currently targeted for food assistance across Afar, Amhara, and Tigray.
Last week, the UN's refugee agency warned that as the Horn of Africa entered its sixth failed rainy season, the needs for displaced persons across Ethiopia, Somalia, and Kenya remained acute.
The dangerous confluence of conflict and climate in the region is worsening an already dire humanitarian situation. As a result, hundreds of thousands of people have been uprooted from their homes in search of safety and assistance. Both women and children, they have to trek long distances to access water and shelter, and they are most of the time arriving on their own, and this, of course, increases the exposure to gender-based violence. And also, we know that many children have been forced to drop school to help their families earn income.
The UN warning that while climate shocks such as drought and floods were recurring events, the frequency and duration was increasing, causing greater devastation to lives and livelihoods. Sherwin Briceby's SABC News, New York.